Assalamualaikum. So much kegusaran rakyat about tomorrow's verdict on Najib punya judicial review punya application at the federal level. I think bagi orang yang berminat, sama ada penyokong Najib ataupun orang yang menyampah Najib and glad that he's in prison, have been following the case very closely. Tapi this is a last ditch effort lah by Shafi and gang to now claim a mistrial. Okay, what many people tak realise, if federal court agrees to a mistrial, means they are saying that Tengku Maimun and the federal court erred. They are saying that Nazlan erred. Maknanya semua orang tu buat salah, and because of that justice was not given to Najib, and therefore it's a failure of the court tau. It taints the judiciary kita punya image if that is the case, particularly when the Chief Justice sits on the board. That's the implication. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not possible. Okay, tetapi look at the circumstance in which a judicial review can be granted by the federal court. Ada 8 je, and all the 8 is about technicalities. Technically tak betul. They cannot argue the case tau. The case dah tak boleh argue dah masuk jail dah. So therefore the court will deliver that decision, and maknanya you tengoklah apa Shafi punya narrative for the judicial review. Tak diberi masa cukup, tak bagi extension. Now as far as masa, I dah comment dah earlier. Masa tu dah dibagi awal dah. And it's not right or fair to say that Najib was not given extension of time. Because right from the point when he was charged at high court level, berapa kali dia minta extension sini, extension sana, nak pergi jumpa doktor dia nak beranak, tak jadi jumpa doktor dia beranak, lagi penting Melaka punya elections, kena attend parlimen lah. Dia punya lawyer pun kucing mati pun boleh postpone, defer the hearing. So a lot of latitude was given to Najib. Eventually he went to Singapore pun. Doktor dah habis beranak pun, still dapat juga pergi Singapore. So macam-macam dibenarkan as far as the court is concerned. Jadi they did whatever they did, and bila Hakim Nazlan delivered the judgment, verdict semua bersalah, all 7 verdicts. It is not just verbal and by the way tau. This is on a 800 over pages punya verdict that can be recorded and can be checked and scrutinized now. Apa-apa yang tak betul, you can say whatever about Nazlan, tetapi whatever the finding is factual, is based on law. And Najib's team had the opportunity to still bring their Arab narrative to the Court of Appeal, brought to hire three court judges, appeals court judges, that went through to highlight how Nazlan erred apparently. At that time, they did not have this narrative about conflict of interest. And those 3 judges saw through the lies and the bullshit, and they upheld the verdict, and they even called Najib a national embarrassment. Now, when all that is torn into tatters, Najib and defense decided that, look, these Arabian tales will not sail anymore. If it goes to the federal court, federal level, it will suffer the same fate. This is what they know. It doesn't require an Einstein to figure this out. So therefore, what do? They start thinking. Now, in the meanwhile, they decided now to go on the offensive, to be creative, now go after Justice Nazlan. They start to accuse him of receiving 1 million. Tiba-tiba mysteriously appear in his account. They accused him that, and Justice Nazlan responded by making a police report on the false accusation. Okay, so sekarang ni kalau betul 1 million masuk, kenapa polis tak arrest Nazlan pun? Kenapa tak ada AMLA punya isu? So the point is, ada atau tak ada 1 million yang masuk dalam akaun Nazlan. Pasal apa tak ada news sampai sekarang? Lepas tu halfway dah kat situ, tukar naratif pula. Kata Nazlan is conflicted pasal dia pernah kerja dengan Maybank. So kalau dia pernah kerja Maybank, walaupun dia involved dengan loan yang SRC dapat pun, the point is Najib is convicted not because of the loan SRC dapat, not because of SRC ambil loan atau Maybank bagi loan. That is not even the subject matter. It's because Najib squandered. Okay, no bank, even Maybank cannot know that Najib is going to do what he was going to do. He was the Prime Minister, all powerful. He did whatever he did. Okay, so jadi, how is Nazlan conflicted simply because he was with Maybank? Why must he recuse himself? Why must he even declare? Because if that has got no bearing in him being partial or impartial, the judge doesn't have to recuse himself or even declare a subject matter that is personal to him. Jadi try nak kata Justice Azlan this, that. Last kali bila pergi kat federal level, tukar pula Syafi, tak mau pakai Syafi, nak pakai Jonathan Laidlaw. Pasal famous, konon nak intimidate lah the federal court. Federal court was not having any of it. That Laidlaw guy don't even know Malay, semua nak kena translate, don't even know the Malaysian laws, tak ada merit. That was denied. That is the prerogative and discretion of the federal court. They can say yes or no. Mereka kata no. Then lepas tu at the 11th hour you decide to go for Ziko, nak ambil Hisham Potek pula. Now when a lawyer decides to take on your case, he under the law he represents that he can defend the defendant, and he can do so within the time frame allocated without caveat that he must necessarily get an extension, a postponement, a deferment. Deferment he can ask, but he cannot expect that cannot be factored in deciding whether or not to defend an accused. So kalau Hisham Potek tak boleh defend, kenapa ambil? So therefore maybe Hisham Potek menyalahi Najib, but that's not the court's problem. When an accused, when a person is accused of a crime, he is asked to enter into defense. The entire strategy of defense is owned by the defendant. If the defendant screw up the strategy by changing lawyers at the 11th hour or getting incompetent lawyer, you cannot say, cry foul to the court and say, hey, my lawyer betrayed me, or my lawyer tak bagus, or tak sempat masa. Percaturan of the entire journey is given to you, a time frame was given to you for you to defend yourself. You come up with your own set of narratives. You can't even blame the court later kalau you come up with the wrong set of narratives. Tapi Najib decide dah that dia punya Arabian Tales will not sail. Dia tak mau cerita lagi dah this derma thing. So dia tukar lah pula tau about the judges being conflicted, to get a mistrial supaya they can come with a new narrative in their new line of defense lepas ni. This is what they were hoping for. Tapi the federal court punya judges are not idiots. They were not having any of it. When Najib punya defense team kata, boleh tak dia nak buat amendment tu dia punya appeal at federal level, tukar, amend. Jadi dia nak amend, dia nak kata dia nak the court to hear dia punya request to introduce additional evidence, new evidence. So court kata, yes, we grant you that hearing. You can tell us why you want new evidence. We agree to listen to it. So at that point of time, the defense team of Najib was very happy. They were very encouraged. This is the first step. The court agreed to listen to our request for a change. Yalah, takat tu je lah the court agreed. So the federal court agreed to listen. When they listened, there was no merit on why you want to introduce new points about Nazlan. Tak kena mengena. Nazlan punya situation with Maybank does not in any way influence or affect Najib having committed the crime that has been proven by money trail. And therefore Nazlan punya verdict was conclusive, more so that the appeals court, 3 judges unanimously upheld that appeal. So kalau tak ada merit, kalau Nazlan is conflicted and he came up with a flawed judgment, that would have been torn into tatters by the appeals court judges. Okay, Shafi would have torn that into tatters and it would have been bought over. There will be buy-in by the three judges. Tapi tak, benda tu masuk still lingkup juga, still upheld, and Najib is called a national embarrassment. So jangan lupa yang tu. So lepas tu at the 11th hour ambil Hisham Potek, bawa Hisham Potek, bawa ke federal court, and Hisham Potek tried to adduce new evidence, tak boleh. Jadi Hisham Potek jam, Ziko jam, because Ziko did not prepare based on the Arabian Tales, did not prepare to defend the case. They were just appointed to raise doubts, to raise to show that there's a problem with the judiciary and there is actually a perversion of justice. This is what they tried to dramatize to gain the supporters' sympathy, hoping to warming up the seat to go to the king, to Agong, to ask for royal pardon. This is what they were hoping, because they know at federal court level pun sure will be convicted and he'll be sent to jail. Tried. Last kali dah pergi kat court and court tak bagi adduce new evidence. So bila Ziko dah jam, Ziko minta extension of time, minta 2-3 bulan lagi. So court kata no lah. Apa basis dia nak sambung? You baru 11th hour you join ke, ataupun you dah lama ke, that is not the court's problem. Court gave Najib time to come up with the defense. You nak tukar player last minute, too bad lah. Faham tak? Kalau you main bola sepak, okay, ada injury time lagi 20 minit, lepas tu masa tu you nak tukar, nak ambil footballer yang baru saja main football, you minta boleh tak sambung lagi 2 minggu baru game ni habis, I nak train dia main football bagi betul-betul dulu. Pasal mana boleh, dia baru je masuk and dia tak tahu lagi rules of the football game. Boleh ke macam tu? Tak boleh lah kan. So at the end of the day, whatever time allocated is that. You nak tukar pemain ke, nak tukar player 11th hour 1 minute before ke, kata dia tak sempat warm up lagi, dia baru je masuk 5 minutes ago, dia tak sempat warm up. Boleh tak you extend sikit masa lagi supaya ada chance untuk dia jaringkan gol? You won't get that. So you can't do this sort of things. You cannot expect to get an extension because the court saw no merit for you to get any postponement lagi dah. Dah lambat sangat, justice delayed is justice denied. So therefore they said no. Jadi as far as the court is concerned, takkan Hisham Potek tak prepare. Takkanlah dia agree to take the case without even knowing the case. Apa the line of defense of the previous team, Shafi punya team dulu. So what did they say to Hisham Potek? We have faith in you. You can do it. Present. Dah kawan tu merajuk pula. Merajuk tak mau present, tak mau buat ini, tak mau buat itu, macam-macam. Lepas tu nak present balik, lepas tu tak nak. All kinds of things. Just nak bagi court kata no. And court, when he wanted to recuse himself, to kata okay, he wants to be out, court tak bagi. Because court cannot allow an accused to be sabotaged by a lawyer at the 11th hour, tak ada lawyer. Then Najib can say, I have no representation. So kalau lawyer dia belah, so tak bagi belah lah. Apa basis dia? How can you leave when you earlier said that you can defend him? And then bila tak dapat masa, you kata you nak leave. You can't be allowed to do that. So last kali tak ada defense masuk, and after that what did they try to do? Being the conniving people they are, they tried to go after Tengku Maimun punya husband. Tengku Maimun punya husband lah kononnya anti-government ni, and because of that Tengku Maimun pun pula conflicted. They even go after the Chief Justice. Nampak tak? Because they cannot defend based on their bullshit narrative, Arabian bullshit narrative. Tak boleh. Because it's been torn into tatters by Nazlan and thereafter by the 3 Court of Appeal judges. Jadi try nak go after Maimun, and after nak recuse, nak bagi dengar semua, dia kata boleh, tapi Maimun beat them to it. The federal court judges delivered the verdict early. After Hisham tak mau present lagi dah, that's it lah, done. So they conclude, and based on what Sitambaran punya submission is conclusive, backed up by money trail evidences. So it was a shut and closed case, very straightforward. So mistrial apa yang mistrial? Okay, bukan court pendekkan masa, no, court gave him exactly the time yang diberi daripada awal-awal lagi. So kenapa 11th hour you minta extension? Tak ada basis, tak ada merit. Okay, and kok mana? Siapa conflicted? So they can try all kinds of things, and the judges on the federal court, mereka dengar objectively. They are competent judges, otherwise they cannot become apex court judges. Faham tak? So they are federal court judges not for no reason. Jadi 5 orang, okay, I am almost certain lah, I would say I'm certain lah, it will be a unanimous decision tomorrow. The whole judicial review mambo jumbo will be thrown out, and you see lah the verdicts of each of the judge and what they each have to say. Abuse of the judiciary, of the system of justice. Nice try lah, tapi at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own defense lah. You are responsible for your own defense strategy, and you cannot blame anybody. Last kali you tengok Najib punya lawyers, Ziko blame Syafi, nampak? Zahid blame Syafi, Syafi blame Zahid. Masing-masing kata each other is incompetent. So that's how Najib manages his defense team. So they manage in such a way, conflict berkelahi, and they both say they're incompetent. So is it the court's fault that the lawyers are incompetent? Is it? So is it the court's fault that you suddenly now need more time? Why should the court allow? So jadi the court got every right, every jurisdiction to say no extension. So you want to seek a mistrial because court tak bagi muka kat you beyond what you even deserve. Lupa ke yang earlier courts dah bagi muka kat you macam-macam dah? So nice try. They are saying, hopefully, clear. Truth be told, Najib and Syafi, even Zahid, they know the whole thing is going to be thrown out. They already know. Tapi sekarang ni, they're preparing to dramatize. They will pretend to be terkejut esok and say all kinds of things about judges. I don't know now which judge they're going to start making story about now, to attack again the judiciary. Bad news is now kerajaan Anwar Ibrahim lah. Jadi Anwar Ibrahim dah start dah dia punya narrative. Dia respect the federal court punya finding with regard to Nazlan punya bla 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 bla. Dia dah kata dah, he already started his mantra. Dia respect federal court punya ruling. This is in preparation of what's coming tomorrow lah. So tomorrow federal court punya ruling kata Najib go back to jail. He will say we respect that. Non-interference with the federal court punya decisions. So itulah penghabisan cerita dia. And Najib can try lah. What I want to see is Zahid nak kata apa. This is interesting, because Zahid pun kena realise that he's also at the mercy of the law lah. His case is coming up, and dia punya Yayasan Akabudi punya case tu sama money trail dia type dia macam SRC. So Ultra Kirana mungkin boleh lepas lah, because it's cash punya payment, and it's his word against the other person's word. Jadi not so easy to prove. Even then AG dah appeal, and tak tahu what's going to happen. Maybe buka balik the case tu. Tapi as far as Yayasan Akabudi is, yang tu a bit more difficult. The losses, the amount yang alleged to be squandered is not as colossal as Najib punya cases lah. Tapi is the same crime. So silap kena lah 2, 3, 4, 5 tahun whatever lah. So itu pun boleh kena. Jadi because of that, Zahid also got to be treading carefully. He should already be counting his blessings that he got back his passport. But I'm not sure that he will come up in full strength to support Najib and to vilify the federal court. I don't think he will do that, because I think even UMNO is prepared to throw Najib under the bus dah, because he's a liability to UMNO. I think Zahid will be more concerned and interested to take care of his own case and not mess up with the court or the government or antagonize the Madani government that he's a part of. So jadi too bad for Najib. Najib better make himself comfortable in jail lah, because that's where he's going to stay lama. And sekarang ni this The case yang audit tu yang dah dismiss, that one I am not sure whether AG dah appeal ke tak against that. Tapi audit tampering tu, yang tu is another matter yang I hope goes to Court of Appeal, because yang tu pun could be a flawed decision, could be. Tapi let the higher courts decide. Okay, so anyway, apapun I'm happy that I have already prophesied what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm putting my tongue on the chopping board here. Okay, because I dare boldly say that in all likeliness, the federal court will reject the judicial review. It is a non-starter in the first place, and Najib will remain in jail for the SRC punya case. 1MDB coming up, we look forward to that as well.